So, what's the most important thing for mental health? If you look it up, arguably the top five things I would think diet would be on there, exercise, sleep is up there on the top five, I know. And one of the best ways to get sleep is by using lighting to align it with your biological clock, your circadian rhythm. And for those of you who are unaware or maybe new, I know I've talked about this stuff a little bit here and there. Uh, some people don't really like the science, but I don't know. I'm passionate about it. I geek out. I love it. And if you think about it, the electric light bulb was only invented 150 years ago, and now we have lighting everywhere. So, and I'm not saying lighting is a bad thing. I know there's a lot of people out there that are like, oh no, blue light, stay away from that. No, not at all. That's a myth. Blue light is just fine for you. It's the time of day in which you get it because you think about the last 300,000 years, we've evolved to the rising and setting of the sun. And this sun, when it's first thing in the morning, it's a real warm, like 1800 Kelvin. For those of you that don't know, 1800, 5000 Kelvin, when I talk about that, it's an identification to what color of white the light is, whether it's there's different technologies of light out there. There's incandescent, HID, fluorescent, LED. Usually today's day and age, I refer to LED. And LED is not bad for you. It's there's a lot to learn about lighting and how it affects us. And a lot of us just aren't aware of it because that light bulb was only invented 150 years ago. And you think about it, we evolved to that sun when it's real warm. It sends when our light eyes see that light. Uh, think about this. We interact within the world through photons, through light. And when a photon comes into your eye, depending on what it is, what uh, your eye cells pick up, it's going to send a hormone to the back of your brain and release, tell your body start producing low levels of adrenaline. It's time to wake up, low levels of cortisol, or you know what? It's time to start getting ready to go to sleep. Let's start producing melatonin. And it's not super instant. It is pretty quick, but a lot of the stuff takes time. Like the wake up is relatively quick when we get that light, unless we've trained our bodies out of it. But it doesn't take that much time and effort to get trained back into it. And the quickest way, if you fly somewhere and you want to realign your body and your biological clock to go sleep, is go outside and walk around, and your body will naturally align to the sun because that's how our bodies have learned to develop. And so you think about all the electric light. Um, I'm a big fan of yin and yang and Taoism, and we need both or nothing at all. So, light, we want that during the day, and we also want it to be turned off at night, or preferably before bed, or something that mimics that real warm light so the body can start getting ready for bed. And we have the melanopsin ganglion cell in the lower part of our eye, which picks up overhead light, those photons. So in our space, in our interior space, if we want, say, if we want to go to bed at 10 o'clock, at 8 o'clock at night, have your lights on a control system so they dim down, those bright overhead lights turn off, and you have other layers of light. That's why we layer for different, so the space can change, just like outside. The sun rises and it sets, and also changes from that real warm all the way up to really bright white light, which is the blue light, which people have said that's bad for you, that you need blue blockers. That's not necessarily true. It's just the time of day. In the middle of the day, you want that bright blue light, and that sets in the evening and starts preparing the body for sleep. And the amount of light that you get in your eyes in the morning helps set you up for sleep later because your brain starts producing adenosine, and that adenosine builds up from when it first receives light, and it's time to wake up for the next 14 hours. And that build up is what makes you tired in the evening. And coffee actually puts out a blocker for adenosine buildup. And that's why after you drink coffee, after the initial boost, you get super tired because that buildup just hits you super hard. So it's important to uh, get the right amount of light in the morning, and then that prepares you for your evening. And the best way to get on track is just to start doing it. And for those of you that work at night, maybe have a night shift, you can use electric light, just like a supplement. It's that's what it is. Now, it's not as good for you as natural daylight. Someone says that it's not, but it's more of a supplement in getting your lighting to align with your biology, because we spend a lot of time in the interior spaces. So if you can do it right and learn about it, it will really help you out for your sleep, um, or your levels of wakefulness and alertness. So yeah, if during the middle of the day you have a bright blue light or bright overhead lights, that's going to help you be more productive and see things easier. It's going to help keep your body alert and active. And then in the evening, real warm light, or maybe have those overhead lights kick off, because that's going to crush your melatonin production. So I know I went on a tangent there, but back to the, if you want to go to bed at 10 o'clock, and so 8 o'clock, maybe have a control system where your bright overhead lights kick off, maybe just some soft wall accent lights, or step guide lights, lights that are mounted 4 foot or lower, or have shrouds, the 4 foot or lower, because your melanopsin ganglion cells are only looking for overhead light. So that way you can still see your path that you're going to bedtime, where you want to go in the other space. Maybe you want to go in the kitchen, but you're helping your body wind down. It's kind of like landing a plane. Like, you don't just want to come in hot and land that sucker. It's like you start to reduce the speed, you start to engage the flaps, you start to put down the landing gear. The body a lot of times is like that too. You can't just go to sleep on the dime. Uh, you need some help, you need some preparation. And if you can do that with light, it will really help you out, because I imagine a lot of people wonder why they can't sleep, but yet they have these bright overhead light glare bombs on. And yeah, that's interrupting with your body's circadian rhythm, which is how we're designed. Um, and you can override it a little bit with practice, but really it would make things a lot easier if you can learn how to align the lighting to your internal biology. And so that way it's easier to sleep. The best way to do that is reduce things like glare, layer in the lighting so that we have overhead lighting during the day. Um, and then you have some step guide lights, maybe accent lights, maybe lamps, something with shrouds. So it's not so much light, it makes it feel cozy in the evening. So you can still read and do those things. So that way the light is adjustable, because you want to be adjustable, meaning you can bring in vertical light, aim it to highlight the walls, maybe some indirect light to light the ceilings, but also adjustable with controls. So that way it can be dimmed and set to a different level. And it's not just, you can have it on during the day, and programmable would be nice. So that way it's scheduled to do something, and you're not having to mess with all the dim levels every time, but it can do something like mimicking the sun. Or you have buttons with different preset scenes, so that way you can press it and override it, or maybe manually override the dim there. But yeah, eliminate glare, do that, aimable, adjustable, you know, color temperature, the right color temperature, that CCT, you can pick it out. They're static white. Some people have the color select, but that's not the same thing as what I'm going to talk about here soon. Tunable white. Color select is just a dip switch on the fixture where you select what Kelvin that you want, which is nice. But if you want something like tunable white, meaning that actually adjusts throughout the day, it is more money, and it is harder to find fixtures that have the same amount of lumens because with that tunable white, because they pack in different chips and LED chips that are different colors. to make it do that so it gets hotter. So it can't, maybe what was a 2000 lumen fixture now becomes like a 750, but you can still get the right amount of light by, looking at those lumens, picking the right optics and the spacing and where to place it, and then get a control system so that way it mimics the rising and setting of the sun, and helps out with your body's alignment, your circadian rhythm. What else? Trying to think if there's anything else that can help you out. If not, I'll write it in the post here. But I just wanted to put out something because I know a lot of people are trying to figure out how to help their mental, emotional health. Sleep is a huge one, and all this electric light. We need the light. We need large amounts of it during the day. We need low amounts of it at night. So being able to have something adjustable that you can turn on and off or have it dim, or maybe it's a control system, maybe it's something very, very simple, just changing a few things, especially in your bedroom. I would say if you spend a lot of time there right before the evening winding down, or your living room, that's what I would kind of try to get right. Maybe your bathroom, instead of having the bright lights on, have a little step light, so that way at night you can still see to go to the bathroom and you're not turning on those bright overhead lights to wake your body up again. Stuff like that. So hope that helps out. Sorry, my camera's shaking. Got a little wobbly table here, but I'll start doing some more of these so that way, you guys can learn how to use light to your advantage. And hopefully if you have a big project that you need help designed and planned, you can reach out to us and see what our services is and how we can help each other out. All right. Have a good day. See ya.